Welcome to the Fuel Only Podcast. My name is Shane Dunnigan, here as always with the great Joey Glover. Joey,
what's going on?
we survived. We survived a late night race. And you know what? We had a little rain.
We
Rain
did.
crept in there, didn't it?
Yeah, we didn't even. God, I'm pretty sure on the pod last week we said nice, no rain.
I know.
And that wasn't the case.
I knocked on wood too, Joe, and it didn't work.
Yeah, you did. And I was scrolling through Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I say that every time. And someone, one of the racers had tweeted like, "This isn't good," and it was like just pouring, and I was like, "What?" So I get on there and I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, you're right. It's raining there." And I texted you and I said, "Dude, I thought you said no rain."
I know. I was
And,
on East. It was Easter, and I'd watched. What did we watch? A little college hoop in the morning, and I'm getting ready for a little 4:00 race. And I look at my phone, and Joey texts me. They're 15-minute delay, and I immediately go on Twitter and I check the weather guy, whatever his name is, and he said it doesn't look good, And then we almost had Tiregate round 2 because they went to the road. Yeah, they went to the wet weather tires with the tread, and I'm going, geez. And they're in the booth and they're talking to Larson and they're going, "Hey, what do you expect here?" He's like, "I have no idea. Yeah, I'm gonna go in gingerly into turn 1, and hopefully everybody follows me."
Yeah, nobody knew. It worked out though.
It did. It was an interesting race at the beginning, Joe, and we'll get into this more in stage 1, but interesting race because NASCAR was very gentle with the situation.
Very gentle with the restarts and the pits and competition.
Competition or caution, like non-competitive pits.
Non-competitive. Sorry, yes, that's what it was.
And the competition caution.
Yeah, which helped. Some guys that. I mean, it kept it. I mean, Larson wins stage 1 without having to really do anything. You know what I mean?
But what's your opinion on it? Yeah, I want to hear your opinion though, because in the past we would have had a weather delay, and anytime at an oval, when it's wet. And I think an interesting part of it is when they go on road courses, they put that windshield wiper on, and they were talking about the spray.
Yeah, that's why being up front was the huge advantage. But I like it but you can only do that at so many different races. Obviously, you're not going to do that at high speed, tracks but it was nice that we didn't have to just sit around, you know what I mean, and wait and cover the cars and. And luckily, I don't think they would have done it if it was pouring though. That's the only difference is if it was raining, they wouldn't have done it. But the fact that it was a light drizzle and then it was kind of drying, it was okay. And I like it.
And the track was just wet, a little bit wet.
Yeah. It was just damp.
Yeah. And I think it worked out really well because the rain never came back.
Yeah, I get the pits. I get the it's slick. I mean, you got that if you're coming in hot or you're leaving hot.
You don't want to kill somebody.
That's dangerous. Yeah, that's it. Definitely, they made the right decision on that. 100%. It wouldn't have made any sense to, how guys get in the pits like that. I mean, that's where you gain or lose spots. So, it was the right call, and they knew that rain wasn't coming back. So it was good. Keep one stage like that, and then let them go wild. Towards the end, and they ultimately won someone a race in the pits at the end. So
yeah, there's so much to talk about, Joe, because, and I don't want to burn up stage 1, but I was a little disappointed that we'd only had one. I expected more yellows.
Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah.
I expected more yellows, and we ended up getting one late, and we'll get into that because it made for a great finish.
Was that for? Was that Bubba helping?
That was Bubba spinning Larson out,
helping his owner. And then the other caution that we did get was chicken shit.
Kyle Busch driving.
He's making a name for himself at the end of his career.
He's done that a couple times this year, Joe, where he's caused a caution to get himself into the pits because his car's not performing.
Yeah, no, it's a smart thing to do. It's just NASCAR. I mean, you have to before we get into it, NASCAR has to realize that that's been a thing now a couple times with him. So, you got to do something about it. That can't be okay. You need to either, if you're going to do that, You're going to sit for a lap, sit for 2 laps, and then nobody's going to do it. You're not going to do that.
You have to disincentivize it, because he literally just gently drove himself up into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
No tire down, no fender damage. Just went right back onto the track.
Until so slow until they said, okay, we have to call
yellow.
this.
So what, he lose 3 spots? They went to the pits and he stayed on the lead lap.
Yeah,
and yeah, we'll talk about that.
But no, there's a you know what was I gonna say? Oh, that was one thing I totally forgot I was gonna open up with that, and you know, you ran with it because you probably thought I was gonna say something about Duke. So you didn't give me a chance, you know, so we each get to
NC State.
God, yeah. We I had to give you something on that real quick, and going to the A's game. Where'd we go? We were at the A's game Saturday.
Yeah.
I
didn't go to the game. I just went to the tailgate.
Yeah, you went to the tailgate, and that was fun. You surprised me. You came up around the corner, and holy shit, Shane's here. So that was took my 2-year-old, and I do this every time. 7 or 8 month old. I don't know. He was born in June, I think, July. God, I'm so bad. July.
Flies.
He was born in July.
Time
so
flies.
He went to his first A's game. A's I think they got killed 12-3. Just sickening.
What do you expect?
Right. But it was fun. It was fun to do that. And he had a ball. My daughter and her best friend, little James, they had a ball, man. They sat there, watched the game. We walked around. It was a blast. And then we had, night racing the night before.
So how was your Easter? Easter good?
It was good. Just relaxed. It was a relaxing day.
Yeah. Good times.
Yep. As it should be.
Want to get into it?
I think we get into it because I'm trying to. It's so funny when we do the intro. Like, it makes I just want to say these things. Kyle Busch pissed me off. Bubba, of course. I want to get into all these things, and it's like, you know what? We could do this. We could sit and talk for 20 minutes straight, and then we would be like, all right, let's do stage 1. Wow, shit, we just mentioned every
half the stuff that we were going to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what? Let's just get into it. Let's do it.
Stage 1 coming up next. Stage 1, Joey, we're back.
Finally.
And boy, do we have something to talk about.
We do. I mean, I'm juiced for that. I've been thinking all day yesterday about just trying to get to this stage 1 to vent and just talk about everything that happened, about being mad at Kyle Busch, being mad at, and it's not even Bubba, they were racing. There's so many things. That 19 car was so fast, and Larson had the strategy, and then Kyle Busch decides to there's so much. But anyways, just start with the beginning where we got the wet tires. I texted you,
Joey. It's like Festivus, it's the airing of grievances. It's time for us to air some grievances.
Yes. I texted you. Is this going to hurt them? Is this going to hurt? Well, we didn't even get into that. We had our guys start in front row.
I know. We had both of our guys qualify 1-2. On the pod last week, I said to myself, Larson's going to go for a long run car because the Toyotas are going to be fast. And what happened? Yeah. The Chevys were fast.
Yes. And they qualified what? 0.002. Yeah.
002.
Yes. 002 separate.
2,000ths of a second off.
I literally, I texted you, and I said, this was on the way to the A's game. And I said, dude, 1-2, are we missing something?
I was shocked.
And you had, huh?
I was shocked.
No, yeah. And you had texted, well, I think on the pod you said, do we throw money on, wasn't Chase
17-1.
And I said, no, I don't even want to talk about him. And then that, and it was like, oh, wow. But yeah, anyways, so they
qualify 1-2. They qualify 1-2, and we're both pretty juiced. Then we hear rain, and we're going, oh, great. What usually happens in a rain race is, especially with tire changes, is it'll be a big rush to put the slicks on. Exactly. And what it does is it shakes up the field. Exactly. And so you lose all your track position because you're like, somebody behind you is going to pit first. But the way NASCAR handled it, like we talked about in the intro,
it helped them.
It helped them a lot. Yeah. Chase lost a few spots early.
He was slow.
him and Larson were up front, and there was, he was slow, but it wasn't a typical because they had to make adjustments to the car.
Yeah, he might have been feeling it out. He might have just been feeling it out.
So, it's a very ginger stage one with, the competition caution and the non-competitive pit stops. And every time we had a Bubba Larson restart, I'm holding my breath because I'm like, Bubba's going to wreck Larson. Every time he's around Larson, he wrecks him. I mean, it happens so often.
Some respect was gained. You sent me a thing saying
I did. I respected the way he raced Larson because they raced side by side for like 3 or 4 laps.
And it was so early. It was so like, I think I texted you back and I said, dude, it's not overtime or the last lap. So that's why,
or stage 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they race good and Larson wins. Larson wins stage 1.
Yes.
Got a playoff point, was feeling good. And and what did you say early? The 19.
Oh my God. I texted you. The 19 car was flying.
He moved up to 3rd, like right away.
He was pedal to the metal. I don't think, I guess he liked his car. I guess he liked all of that because either he was the most comfortable or he just, maybe they had an idea like, okay, if this happens, like you're good to go, because he was flying. Guys were right. They were going up, down. Larson, he let Chase go by. I think on like what, 2nd or 3rd lap. I don't know. It could have been farther on. And then it seemed like Larson was kind of running around a little bit, just seeing what it was like, going a little drier, wet, seeing. And then Truex was just coming through the field. Him and Buescher were coming.
So stage 2, it gets interesting, right? They're back to the slick tires. NASCAR made the rule. We're going to do it. Everybody's on slicks. Okay.
Yeah.
So brand new race, cars are being adjusted back to the way they were in qualifying. And here comes pit strategy, Joe.
Yeah.
You have the option to run about 50 laps in pit.
Yeah. Yeah. 3rd
or you could split it in half.
Yes.
So a few of the guys up front, Bubba, Larson, and there was a couple more decided that they were going to split it in half.
Was it Bowman?
Bowman. He ended up getting screwed over.
Yeah.
But the advantage to running it in half is it takes 9 seconds to pit, but it takes another like 12 seconds to drive through pit road. Mm-hmm. So you're saving 20 seconds of time if it goes green. Yeah. And we're thinking to ourselves, man, this is going to work out good for Larson. He's going to win stage 2. He would have won stage 2 easily. Did
he have because I think he had a 6 or almost 7 second lead. And that's where I kind of disagreed with Bubba and Bowman staying out. They weren't 7 seconds up on the field.
No.
You know what I mean? So if they were going to do what Larson was going to do, it wasn't going to work out with guys like Truex that had already pitted and they're flying on fresh tires. It made sense for Larson.
And then you got to be up front to do that.
Yes. And continue with, we were juiced.
So we're like halfway through the stage and I'm thinking to myself, oh no, Larson had just pitted and he's driving through the field and Kyle Busch drives into the wall.
Yep. And everything strategy goes up. 16 laps in. 16 laps in after.
Yep, 16. I remember you saying that.
He had 16 laps on his tires and everybody else had like 44, I believe it was. I could be wrong, and then it became a whole new race. That was it. It didn't matter. All because of that caution.
Yeah. So then Larson couldn't stay out. He had to come in and pit with everybody else. And he comes out 4th. Yeah, and I'm like, I think, I was pissed too. I'm like, man, your team screwed him. In reality, Kyle Busch kind of screwed him.
Yeah.
So he comes out 4th and Truex comes out front.
Yep.
And Truex just takes control of the race from that point on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had the clean air and he had, him and the 5 had the fastest cars. It turned out at the end that the 19, he got screwed at the end, but he really did have the fastest car of the whole race. Oh, yeah.
No, it fell into Hamlin's lap. No, I won't say it fell into his lap. No. His pit. I mean, they dominated that last stop. He totally dominated that last stop. Hamlin was great getting into his pit. He was the fastest down. And it's hard. You think, why did this person, or how can this person be 2 or 3 seconds faster? And that has to do with how you're braking in to come into pit road, how fast you're coming in to where getting down to your speed. You know, you always think like, God, he got out there so fast. Please say he was speeding. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know, and it didn't. And of course he.
Did you see the part of the race when they were talking about pit road there? And the
What
way
about
that
it?
it's angled, and that there's certain levels in pit road where you
Yes.
have to throttle up and throttle down.
Yes.
Like
It's split
the
into
nuance that you
sections.
like if me and you went in pit road, we would just try not to speed. These
Exactly.
guys are right on the number,
Mm-hmm.
Joe. It's just
I know.
crazy.
Well, that's what
So,
was funny is
yeah.
they told Chastain go to page 9, and Boyer joked and he said, back when I was racing, I had one page. That was the dial. That was it. And they told Chastain to go to page 9 for his speed in the rain because they lowered it to 40. And he goes, all right, just flip it to, or go on your board, you know, this big screen now, you know, all the technology, it's all digital. Go to page 9. And it's like, what the hell's on page 1 through 8?
Isn't that crazy? What a world.
But, yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Oh, man.
So stage 3, Truex is in control of the race. And
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Larson at the end of stage 3 cut him off coming out of the pits. And I was thinking, because Larson was staying about a half a second back to about a second.
Yeah, he was
roughly
between 0.5
half a
and
second
a
to a
second.
second. And every time he'd go back, like maybe get to be 2 seconds back, Truex would hit a little bit of lap traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Truex was pissed too because people weren't moving out of the way for him.
No.
And it's hard to blame him because you don't want to go a lap down. What if you get a yellow?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and these guys are fighting hard to stay on the lead lap. Chastain fought him hard for a while.
Oh, and then he just lets Logano by.
And then he lets Logano by. Logano had a great race too. I don't want to forget about him because they were talking about it that he's been having a really rough year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he was in the top 5 for most of the race. He had a lot of speed.
No, he was unreal. And the only thing that I wanted to add to what we were saying is Larson gets out in front of Truex.
Oh yeah, I don't want to forget about that. Go.
And I texted you. Here we go, baby. Control the race. It's Larson time. One lap later, I text shit, and that was it. He gave the lead back up, and it just I don't know.
One thing I noticed, Joe. One thing I noticed is, and I'm sure it's like this with all cars, but with Larson's car, his tires are so flat at the beginning of the run because they want the air pressure to build up, and they don't want it to be. You know, the first couple laps I've noticed is he's when you build up that air pressure, you're trying to get grip. And it was almost like they needed to fill him up a little bit more for a short run there because his tires weren't inflated and Truex just made quick work of him.
Yeah, he did easily, which is not. It was weird. But yeah.
So I'm pissed off. I'm texting you. I go, man, my guy's going to lose. Truex is going to win. And what was it? 3 to go. Larson's holding on for dear life. And Bubba dumps him.
Yeah.
And
Bubba
just classic Bubba. And what's the first thing you said? He's doing it for Denny.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there was some collusion there, but there could have been.
I know Larson had gotten, it's not that he got loose or he got whatever, but he did go up. I mean, it wasn't on purpose, but it happened. Moral of the story is it happened. It actually worked out for Larson. And it didn't work out for Bubba. I think Bubba went back to 17.
So Bubba dumps Larson, and Larson says he only lost. I think he lost 2 spots of track position.
Right in front of
2 laps, 2 spots of lap position. He saves it, drives back onto the. So he gets back on track, goes through the grass, avoids the wall, gets back on. So immediately yellow goes. Truex's mother effing everybody.
Yep.
Can't believe
everybody pits. It's a whole new race.
Everybody pits. It's a whole new race. And this is what we talked about with Denny and why Denny, we say a lot about Denny, but Denny he's a veteran. He's solid.
20 years. I
said this to you after. Denny one-on-one at the end of a race. You do not want to be there.
No, you don't.
Because he's gonna abuse you. He does it every time.
Yeah, and it's more of a new school, racing. But back in the day, Denny would have fit in just fine. I mean,
Well, he is old school.
No, but I'm talking like Earnhardt and.
Oh yeah, he raced in that post Earnhardt era.
Yes,
where it's like there still was it like when Kyle Busch was really good.
Yes. Okay. So I guess
run somebody over.
He's half and half. He's half and half. Because we only bitch about it today because the teammate thing is so big and Truex. I mean, he used up Truex. He did, plain and simple. But he didn't put him in the wall. He didn't hit him. But he literally rode him and drove him exactly how he was supposed to where Truex didn't stand a chance.
And Harvick's a little old school too, and he didn't have a problem with it. And Denny gives you just enough room for you to choke yourself out.
Yep.
And
we've all seen it.
He does it every time. So if Denny's on the inside,
you're screwed.
And you're screwed. So there's a lot to unpack here. So Denny comes out with Truex. Denny's in first on the inside. Second row is Logano and Larson.
Yep. And then Chase behind Larson.
Larson took 2 tires after getting dumped and got back out into fourth, which was pretty wild. Yep. And then this is where it gets good, Joey. So Denny jumps the restart.
Oh my God. He didn't just, I mean, in NASCAR, how pathetic. You have to be consistent. He jumped the restart. It's clear as day from every angle you watch. And they have all this data that showed Chase
the throttle. They could show the throttle.
Yes. They have all this when Chase turned into Denny and they suspended him one race, and who else? Someone else did it, and they checked the all the data. All you have to do is go back and be like, shit, he did. He jumped. We're standing by this. It's a rule. What? It doesn't make sense to me. The rule is the rule. Why are they not doing it? What does it open up? What can of worms does it open up? Let me ask you
this. If it wasn't Denny or Larson, do they call it on somebody? I think NASCAR was completely fine with Denny Hamlin winning that race.
Yeah, his home track. It's good for NASCAR.
Good finish.
Yeah, but at what point at what point can you call it now? You may as well not have the rule, because you can't just not call it on him. And then, if Hosafar was leading, or if Gragson was leading and he did that, at what point?
It's almost like the ref on the close play in the end zone keeps the flag in his pocket.
Yes,
but because he doesn't want to be the reason that, I mean, because you texted me on April 1st and you said they took Denny's win away. April Fool. I got a good laugh out of that. But at some point, if they're going to call it, that's how they got to call it.
Yeah. So, but how do you go and call it now? You can't.
Didn't they take Denny's win away last year because they found something in they found a part that was
the R&D. Yeah, Michigan? it was illegal. Him and Kyle Busch, they were 1-2, and Chase won the race, finishing third.
Oh, I remember that. Remember how fast was that Chase's last win?
It might have been.
I don't think he's won. Yeah. I don't think he's won since then.
But
he was in third.
My thing is this: how do you can't just call it this next time and be like, you know what? Hey, we can't let it go again, because then it's like, well, you just let it go. It's hard.
It's tough, Joe. It's
tough. Because how far? What if the next guy does it just a little farther back? Oh, well, it was close enough. It's too much. Then the next guy, and now you're screwing up every restart. You know what I mean?
Well, they already changed the restart rule that you can't lay back, because the guys were laying back and getting a huge run. So they fixed that, and they did call a couple penalties. It'll have to be something on the bulletin board that they go for, and maybe next year.
Yep.
I don't know if you can do it.
And because of all that, I mean, Truex was. I've been watching Truex a long time. He was
steaming.
What's the word? I mean, yeah, whatever he was hot. I mean, he got out of there and nobody around him, and he was just looking around. He was pissed. And
so Truex gets used up, and then Logano's all over him.
Yep.
So Logano jumps him.
Yep.
Larson sees blood in the water. He flies up there, and Truex is just looking for anybody to run into at this point.
Yeah.
And him and Larson start exchanging trading paint, Joe.
He really did.
They used to say they were trading some paint.
And I'm glad Larson stood up for himself. Like, went back and hit him back after because he's like, dude, I didn't do anything. You're mad, and you took it out of me. And Truex had every right to be pissed off. He got used up. his teammate jumps the line. And like he said, I just wanted a chance, chance. He had no chance. Denny Hamlin gave him a 0.00% chance to win that race. And we all kind of knew it. But I thought, you know what? Truex's car is really fast. He may have something for Denny. And no, just so savvy. 2 veterans. And I don't even want to say that. I can't say that Hamlin made him look like a rookie, because he would have made anybody. It didn't matter who it was, because that's just what he does. That's what he does.
He'd have wrecked anybody but Chastain. Chastain would have wrecked him first.
Yeah, right.
Because Chastain would have just driven into him.
Yeah. So it was a good finish, though. It gave us. I think you had texted me after and you said we needed that finish. We needed that finish.
I was a little disappointed in the race just because it went green the whole way, pretty much. Yep. And I was like, man, I wanted some drama, because when we were doing the pre-race and I'd watched the races back from last year, we got those late cautions.
Yeah.
And we got it this time. So that was good. Yeah. Some interesting post-race interviews. I thought Denny handled he didn't play the villain role. He just was all class. And it was a very quick interview, because I think they wanted to get to Truex. And what I like about Truex is I feel like he's 2 different people. He's inside the car, he's a maniac. And then the moment he steps out of the car, he seems like a reasonable person. Yeah. And he just, he told it like it was, no cheap shots. And then they go to Larson, and Larson's got a big smile on his face. He's like, I like Martin Truex. He's like, we're friends. Like, we're cool.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of him.
He's like, yeah, he's like, he was just mad, and I hit him back.
Yeah, he goes, no, he's mad. I don't blame him. He's like, I don't blame him. You man, I was just the one closest to him.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, and he was all class, though.
And then Bubba goes up to Larson, and anytime Bubba gets near Larson, I'm just worried that Larson's going to get assaulted. And Bubba apologizes and says, hey, that's my bad. I didn't mean to dump you, and Larson goes, it worked out for me. Yeah. And then, Bubba goes, karma's a bitch.
Yeah, it was quick karma. What did he get? I forget. There was so much going on. He got a penalty, right? Or
no, his team couldn't get the back. They couldn't get the back left tire tight. So they had to jack him up again. Yeah, he ended up finishing like 10th or 13th or something.
Yeah, something like, I don't even remember. But yeah, no, it came back to bite him real quick. So
and Chase with a good effort.
Oh, Chase with a great race. I think 5th. Top 5. I mean, he was solid. He was
team. It's big for his
team.
Yeah,
no, it was solid for him, and I hope I think with how good the qualifying's been and how it's not like he's finishing in the 20s. He's running top 10 or 10th every race. So that's not the issue. It's more, I think I checked points this morning, and I think he's 7th or 8th in points.
Yeah, saw that.
And him and William Byron are right next to each other. So it's not like it's been a horrible year. It's just
needs momentum, Joe.
He needs a win. And he just, if it was anybody other than Chase, I'd be like, he's having a great season. He's doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, if you're, how many races? 7 races, 7 or 8 now,
something like that.
And to be top 8 in points, that's totally fine.
It's where he belongs, Joe. It's where he needs to be.
Yeah. So, but it's Chase, and I'm used to, I was scrolling the other day, looking at something. I was trying to find a picture, and it was my my little dude, Easton, when he was 2020, and he had his Chase shirt on, and he's in front of the TV, and there's 2 to go, and Chase is leading, and Chase had won the race, and I'm just thinking, dude, like, those were the good days right there. Like, that's when you like something, you expect a lot from him. You expect it to be good. You expect him to win some races, and when you go for, what was it, 40 races that he hasn't won?
Yeah, 40.
That's what was 40,
up. So it'll be 41 after
41 now. It becomes, oh, you're just bad. You're just bad. And it's not that he's bad. I'll say, I will say that it's like the A's. I expect so much from them, but I still know they're bad. I'm 34 years old, and I've seen 0 A's World Series titles. So at some point you just call them bad. Yeah, they've made it to, the ALDS and the LCS since I've been alive, but they're just bad. And that's what I look at Chase. Like, you're bad. Like, win a race. And like,
it's hard. It's damn hard.
Win a race, and Larson's over here and, oh, okay, win a race, Byron winning 2 races, it's just, it gets hard. So, but a top 5 finish, I'll take any day of the week. So, I like the finish. It was good. I was happy with everything. I love night racing.
Yep.
I love night racing.
Me too. Would you say first night race for points?
I think it was, because they had all-star races at night. They had said on the broadcast, I believe they said since 2019 it was the first points race since nighttime. And I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. They used to do, Charlotte used to be a night race. They used to do Bristol night racing. Like, I just don't understand why.
It's just TV, I'm sure.
I guess it's Sunday.
They own that block of Sunday from 1 to or 12 to 4. That's their block.
Yeah, and Sunday.
And because it's Easter, they probably let everybody go to church.
Yep.
Or spend time with their family and then race at night.
Yeah. And people work, Monday mornings. So I get it. It's why, the Super Bowl starts early on, Sunday. Why games,
Yeah.
It all, I get it. So, but overall, I mean, I think you were happy with it.
I mean, I wish Larson would have won, but I was happy we got a good finish.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been way worse if he would have gotten damaged there and all those cars. I mean, he could have finished 20 something. So, it worked out.
Joey, what do we always say? What do we always say? Richmond was fun.
Richmond was fun.
Now we're on to Martinsville. Martinsville, stage 2.
Let's
coming
do
up
it
next. Joey, stage 3. Martinsville. Who do you think of when we go to Martinsville?
I think of Truex.
Martin at Martinsville.
I mean, at least recently, clearly. And that's what we did we did this last week, and we said Hamlin at Richmond.
And he won.
And Truex. So is it Truex's week?
I think Truex is going to be racing really hard, Joe.
Oh my God. He's taking no prisoners this week. And if Hamlin's next to him, he's going to eat him up.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, I didn't even think about that.
There's going to be no lost love.
No, he's going to be moving car. I could see Truex by the time the race starts being 3-1.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Oh, 100%. And this brings me back to what episode was it where I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in Joe Gibbs Racing meeting on Monday or Tuesday, whenever they did it, yesterday or today, or just because these guys.
There's 4 chairs, Joe, and you got Denny. You got Denny on one side, and you got Gibbs and Bell in the middle,
and Truex
on the right side.
We're competitive people. We're very competitive people. We've been like that our whole lives. How do you, on the biggest stage in Cup racing, just, okay, you go to sleep at night, you're heated. The next day you wake up a little bit. How do you just go in there?
How many beers do you think Truex needed to cool off after that race?
Oh, quite a few. He probably had a 12 pack to himself.
Just sitting there, just one after another, trying to just somebody
in his hauler, drive into the next track. How do you just, what's up, Hamlin? Like, hey, what's going on? Like, no. Is
it all business?
Like, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't, because me and you, we're best friends. If that happened and we were best friends, say we don't even have I'm not saying a goddamn word to you.
No,
dude.
You remember Larson and Hamlin last year when Denny dumped him at Pocono?
Yes.
And he goes, I guess I got to race him different now.
Yes.
I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
No. That's what I love. Say what we say about Denny. This is his business. This is life.
This is life. This is his business. This is his legacy. This is everything.
Yeah. He's not playing.
His friends. He's not his friends.
You understand why him and MJ click, right?
Oh, 100%. They take things personal. That's
MJ punched his teammate in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, so did Draymond, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. Well, that was cool. That's different. But you have, MJ, the whole thing that everybody uses is he said this or he did that, and I took it personal. Yep. Everything Hamlin does is personal. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit about you. He may joke with you. He may be a fun guy to be around off the track. Honestly, let's have a drink. Let's You know, he probably is really fun. But when he gets on that
when that helmet goes on,
course, on that exactly, he's not your friend, and he is the worst person you want to see you, because you're not going to get by him easy. Like, and it's a respectable thing. And he's like you mentioned Draymond. You want him on your team, and if he's not on your team, you can't stand the guy. You can't stand him. And his own teammates though have to be like, this motherfucker, like what's Truex doing when he comes in after, you know, Joe Gibbs? There's no way he doesn't pull them all in. Like, hey, does Gibbs just, without anything even being said, like, hey guys, this is business. What happened. Let it go.
He probably says, this is business. We don't wreck our teammates. Blah, blah, blah.
And then it's just done.
Nice job to the 11 team and the 19, you know?
Or is it these guys are veterans. These two guys have been around the longest. Does he let them put their feelings out there? Does he let them say things? Does he
little therapy session?
Does he do it? What does he do? How does he handle it with like a Ty Gibbs coming up? You know, a young kid in there. How does he handle that?
Because Gibbs and Truex had a little beef earlier in the year too.
Mm-hmm.
I think at Phoenix.
And this is, I don't know if anybody were to happen to listen to this that has like millions and millions and millions of dollars. Let's create something with NASCAR to where we can be there for these morning meetings. Sure, we can edit out stuff that we're not going to talk about this or this, but you can't sit here and tell me that you or me or the average NASCAR fan, even our friend Matt, who round, yeah, it's just, you know, they're just going around. You're telling me he wouldn't turn on the 30-minute episode to seeing what these guys talk shit about during the race, or what is said in these meetings after these things happen between teammates and stuff? You don't have to talk. It doesn't have to be the whole conversation, the whole meeting. But
give us a little bit. Give us a little bit.
I want snippets. I want Truex being like, no, this dude's he's a douchebag. He wants to rate. Like, just throw something out there. But then, you know, they're not going to allow that stuff, you know. But
no, that's in-house. It's in-house.
It would be so nice to just, let me see Truex's face when he walks into the meeting that morning. You know what I mean?
Bro, sunglasses are on, hats pulled low. I mean,
yeah,
hangover, and probably a hangover.
I mean, I know people have thought about it or tried to do it because, you know, they do it in the NFL. People are mic'd up and they get some trash talking on there and they put it on the NFL Network. And
I mean, Monday morning quarterback, right? Whatever they call it.
Yeah, it'd be nice because they can't be happy. They can't be going out for a round of golf on Tuesday. You know, hey, let's just drink to it. Like, no. But anyways, yeah, Martinsville,
Joey the paperclip. Half-mile track, holds between 44 and 60,000, depending on the seating arrangement.
Yeah, they had reduced it to 44, I think, during the pandemic or somewhere around then. 44,000 though for a small half. I mean, that's a lot for a small, tiny track. So, and it's short track racing.
I'd love to go.
We're gonna get the same. I'm hoping the same thing, the same finish. And
are we gonna do we dare check weather right now, Joe?
Oh man, I don't know if you should check it because apparently yours is you're on a different time zone or a different day.
Martinsville Speedway. Okay, Joe. Unfortunately, we got to look at this.
Yeah, what's your say?
Okay, Martinsville, Virginia, Sunday, 66 and clear.
All right.
It says rain. It says 0. Perfect. Rain on Monday, 30%. So let's hope that holds off.
Okay.
But a little bit of rain today and tomorrow, and it looks like clear the rest of the week. So
perfect.
Joey, fingers crossed. No rain at Martinsville.
Cheers to that. Perfect.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have
I know who you're gonna pick, Joe.
I'm not gonna take Hamlin.
Do it.
No. Who do you think I would take?
I think you're gonna take Bell.
Yeah, I think. Did you look up the odds?
No, I haven't looked yet. We'll check them out after this stage.
So okay, all right. Because yeah, I want to take Truex. Who do we pick this last week?
Okay, go back into the way back machine. I took Truex.
You did.
And I
took Gibbs.
And you took Gibbs.
I took Gibbs.
And Gibbs was quiet. Pretty quiet.
Quiet. But I think it's going to be the same thing. I'm not saying it's going to be the same. I don't hate it. These smaller tracks, you have those select few that are going to be up there. It doesn't matter. And now is Chase added to this mix? Because after last week, before last week, I wouldn't have thought that Chase is going to be, but does he have another solid? Hendrick seemed like they hit the short track. I mean, they had 3 out of the top 4 were Hendrick.
Joey, looking for signs from the universe. You sent me a picture of your daughter wearing a Chase Elliott shirt, a Napa shirt, and I saw yesterday when I was driving, I saw a Napa. It had to be like a Toyota maybe 1999 Toyota piece of crap, and it had a Napa sticker on the side, Joe.
Yeah,
and I thought to myself, is that a sign for Chase?
After the qualifying, I mean, what's to say they're not going to qualify like that again? But
I just don't know if the Chevys have, those Gibbs cars, Joe.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Those Gibbs cars are crazy. So unless you bring, that's why I really thought that Chevy would go long run and pray for green, because it's really hard. It's really hard to beat those cars in the short run.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Even though they qualified fast. Even though
I think, you're right. Bell, I've stayed with them a lot this year. So we'll see. I just feel like it's going to be, I think the cars that were up front, we expected to be up front last week. So I think it's kind of going to be the same thing. I could be wrong. Logano surprised me. So we could have, if Logano, if they figured something out.
Agreed.
So we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited for it. I love the short track racing, as does everybody. So,
and they put the short tracks back to back, which I thought was interesting too on the schedule.
No, they've NASCAR's been doing well this year. Viewership is up. So
I told you, I said the string of tracks we have coming up, Joe. I think I texted you the other day.
Hamlin, Larson,
Byron.
And
so the stretch of tracks is Martinsville, Texas, Dega, Dover, Kansas, Darlington, and then we got All-Star Race.
Yeah,
all those go. All those are going to be fire.
Yeah, and Hamlin just got a second win, right?
Hamlin got a second win, so I think he's for sure getting 4 this year.
Yeah, so I think that over 3 is definitely going to happen.
Because we still have to go back to Richmond, back to Martinsville, Pocono, Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan's a fun track. I would love to go to Michigan to that race.
I know that track's huge.
I love the Michigan track. So we'll see. It's going to be.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, and what's crazy is Hamlin could win again this week.
Joey, don't say that.
And you never. But I think Bell. I think it's Bell or Truex. And
so let me say this real quick. Denny hasn't won in in Martinsville, Joey, since 2015.
Wow.
So the winners in the new car have been Byron, Bell, Larson, and Blaney. Blaney won there in October of last year when he was catching fire. And in the old car, the last few winners were Bowman, Truex, Chase, Truex, Brad, Joey.
So no Truex.
So Truex hasn't won. Truex hasn't won there in the new car.
Got you. So, and you said Bell with the new car?
Bell won there in 22. He won the fall race in 22.
So, yeah, see, so I'm not giving away my picks early, but yeah, no, I think that's let's get to the picks, because I want to look up I want to see what the odds are looking like early in the week right now, and let's see.
Our picks coming up next. Stage 3, time for our picks. And Joey, I think we're still 1-1 this year, so you get the lead off here. You get to get your first pick. The latest. Wait, let me read the lines real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Courtesy of covers.com. Denny Hamlin 4.5-1, Kyle Larson 5.5-1, Truex 7.5, Blaney 8, Bell 8.5, Byron 12, Joey 12, Logano 12-1, Gibbs 13, Brad sneaking in there at 16-1, Chase Elliott 18-1, followed by a lot of other drivers.
Same as last week. Chase
pretty
Elliott,
close.
Yeah, same as last week. So they still don't have any
No faith.
They have no. He's not winning, basically.
Hey, you never know.
And this is looking, this is for so the Cookout 400. It's interesting. Denny Hamlin, who hasn't won since 2015 and hasn't won in the new car, is interesting that he's the favorite. And I think they might just be going off of last week. Because I mean, why wouldn't you have Denny Hamlin, Larson, and Truex top three? I mean, I think we would make the same.
No shocker. No shocker there.
There's no shock there. What I see here is, and I went over this last week. Are we betting for value? Are we going for the favorite? I don't think the favorite is the best bet on this one right here. So I don't think it's Hamlin. But I see
on the board.
William Byron at 12-1 is huge. But I'm going to go with Christopher Bell 8.5-1. I mean, that's 8.5-1. That's great value, and I mean, I think he over Ryan Blaney. I have nothing against Blaney. I love Blaney. The only other person
he was bad last week.
Yeah. Truex, 7.5-1 is great. But if I had to pick, I mean, and I'm going to go with Bell, but William Byron at 12-1, I love. But let's go Bell. Let's go Bell, baby.
Lock it in.
Lock it in.
I also love Byron 12-1. I can't believe that. I think Logano too. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know if he had a winning race car last week, but excuse me.
He had a chance.
He was very good. I am going to take the angriest man on the planet, Joe. I'm going to take Martin Truex Jr. and he is going to drive the hell out of that car. So
and if it's
my pick is Truex.
And if his car is not up to what it was last, if it's not up to last week, I don't want to be his crew chief and I don't want to be a spot because I mean they're gonna get lots of shit. So I'm looking again. Yeah, there's no one, Ross. All these tracks, he scares me at 25-1 for Ross. For Chastain is, dude, that guy, you never know with him. He could drive his, I don't know.
I mean, Bowman 28-1. He's been good.
Wow, he has been great.
Interesting. We'll see what happens after qualifying. That'll shake some stuff up.
We'll see what's yes, exactly. So that's what we said. It's hard early in the week. It's hard. You don't know if someone could crash in qualifying and then they're in the backup car
and they'll never win.
Picks mean nothing. These odds mean nothing. So, but all right, Shane. I enjoyed this pod. This was fun.
We kept it right around 45 minutes, which was surprising because we had a lot to say.
We did. So thank you all for listening. As I always say, please drink responsibly.
God bless America. Thanks for listening.